Hey guys, Toast here. The fall update for Battlefield 1 was released on November 15th, 2016, and with it came a very significant number of changes ranging from weapon and map balancing, to bug fixes, to game mode changes, and much more. Today I want to discuss some of the most significant changes that have come about from this update, and how they're going to impact the game. We won't touch on every single change as the list is really quite sizable, but we will discuss the ones that I feel will have the most significant impact on the player experience. Love it or hate it, you can't deny that Suez certainly stands out in Battlefield 1, due primarily to the small comparative size to other maps in the game. Because of the size and linearity, the map bred almost entirely head-on battles over the Bravo flag, with one spawn having a significantly easier time capturing the B flag, and then subsequently pushing the other team back into their spawn in an alarmingly high number of matches. It would frequently become an even more spawn-campy version of Operation Locker from Battlefield 4 if that's even possible. To counteract this, DICE added 2 additional flags, each located in the desert lands closest to the team's spawn points. These additional flags, while not decreasing the linearity of the map, were certainly designed to make it larger overall and help negate some of the spawn camping that happened. Did it work? Well, the answer is sort of, but not to the extent that many had hoped it would. I've played a few matches on the new version of the map, and while yes, it is less frequent that we find either team pushed back into the spawn, the map still doesn't offer enough route variety to make it anything but a longer version of the head-on-head battles that it was previously. In conclusion here, it's better, but still not great. One feeling since the launch of the game, and even since the beta, that many players have remarked on is that the support class's LMGs just felt weak. They weren't high enough damage, high enough rate of fire, or accurate enough to compete against the weapons of any other classes. While DICE has chosen not to touch the damage or rate of fire of these weapons, which arguably would have had a much larger impact, they have chosen to increase the accuracy. As discussed in my top 5 support class tips video, the accuracy of the LMGs increases with sustained fire. DICE has improved on this aspect a bit, and now the weapons have both an increased ADS accuracy overall, as well as reach their maximum accuracy quicker than previously. This means that your weapon will be more accurate from the start of shooting, and reach its peak accuracy with less bullets fired than previously. DICE has also chosen to add bipods to the low-weight variants of light machine guns, making them more accurate when prone. One final slight buff for the LMGs is that the suppression effect has been increased against enemies at medium ranges, making all variants, but particularly the suppressive variants, much more useful at those ranges. Mortars were, and still are, a go-to gadget for the support class. They give the class a means of raining down area of effect damage from a safe distance, with the ability to continually place more of them once the ammo is run out. They're not only infinite, but extremely effective as well. DICE decided that they were perhaps a bit too effective and have added a new mechanic to them to try and tone them down a little bit. Previously, you could fire each mortar shot with 100% accuracy as soon as you placed the mortar down, and as soon as each shot had landed. This is no longer the case. There's now an accuracy waiting period in which the player will need to wait a few seconds after the mortar is initially placed and between each shot of the mortar to reach 100% accuracy. You'll notice on the minimap that the mortar starts out with a large range in which the projectile can land, slowly tapering to a smaller range in the center. Once the red dot appears, you'll have reached the maximum accuracy, and your mortar will now land exactly where you fire it. This is a pretty significant nerf to the gadget, and will certainly cut down on the amount of mortar spam that was present prior to the update. Operations were previously one-sided. The attacking team had a hell of a time trying to take objectives, while the defending team was clearly in a more beneficial position to maintain their points. This played out with the attacking team losing far more frequently than the defending team. To balance this out, DICE has made a number of significant changes. The numbers I'm going to mention are based on the 64-player version of Operations, but the 40-player version has received the same updates proportionately. First, the attackers are given a maximum of 250 tickets per round instead of 150, allowing many more chances to take the objectives. They've increased the number of tickets that can be regained for each kill the attacking team gets while pushing the defenders back to a new objective from 2 to 3. They've increased the minimum number of tickets the attackers can regain after capturing a sector from 30 to 50, however that's only in the 64-player mode that change has been made, and they've decreased the capture time on the flags for the attackers. These are some pretty significant changes, and while I don't generally play a ton of operations mainly because of the time requirement to play, it sounds like the attacking team is actually going to have a decent chance at winning now and will change the overall flow of the game mode moving forward. There are a few other changes that I want to quickly mention but not focus too heavily on. DICE has now added Hardcore mode to the game. Hardcore is a return from what we've seen in previous Battlefield games where infantry weapon damage is increased, the HUD is minimal with no minimap, crosshairs, or spotting capabilities, and friendly fire is present, giving you the unfortunate, or fortunate in certain situations, ability to damage your allies. Server rental is now available, albeit in beta form, allowing players to rent servers directly from DICE. Unfortunately, you can no longer rent from third-party providers, and the options currently available on the custom servers are a bit limited at the moment. However, DICE has mentioned that it's currently in beta, and they will be improving the future rental features over time. There have been some general UI improvements, like the option of changing your class loadout from within the main menu, the ability to quit at any time in between games, and the option to filter your kill feed to all, team, squad, or even just yourself. Planes have gotten some buffs with increased bullet velocity for bombers, decreased damage taken from scout rifles, and AA guns have also received a nerf to their overall damage dealt. Outside of those points, there have still been a ton of other general improvements, balances, bug fixes, and more. The link to DICE's post containing all of the changes is in the description below. Take a look if you want to see all of the smaller but still meaningful things that have been added, removed, or fixed in the game. Now I want to know how you feel about the new patch. Do you feel like DICE is heading in the right direction, or do you feel like there are some key things that are still missing that should have been dealt with in this patch? Let me know in the comments. If you liked the video, please leave a like, and if you want to see more content, please subscribe. Thank you guys so much for watching, this is Toast, and I'll talk to you soon.